guys, it's Kate and welcome back to my channel. Today's video, well, for one, if you saw the video that I'm posting either right before this or right after this, and I'm wearing the same outfit, saying how I'm not gonna wear makeup today, you know, I decided against that because I thought today would be the perfect day to film my super lazy day or like working out makeup. And I know like a lot of people don't like to wear makeup when they work out, but me personally, I get that it's not like necessary, but I just feel a little better about myself when I'm wearing makeup, and I just enjoy putting it on. So, you know, if you don't like to wear makeup when you work out, you do you, but I personally do. So I am going to show you kind of what I do on those days or days when I just don't feel like wearing a lot of makeup, but I still want to look a little more put together and, you know, hide some of my blemishes. So with that, let's just get started. Even though I'm not going to be going in with a foundation, I am going to go ahead and prime my whole face anyway using the Catrice Prime and Fine Beautifying Prime. I'm going to prime anyway using the Prime and Fine Beautifying Primer from Catrice. I really love this primer. It just adds a nice kind of like soft focus to your skin, which I didn't actually expect it to do. Honestly, I bought it because like the color was pretty, but like it adds a really pretty, just soft focus effect to your skin, but it goes on pretty much like moisturizer. So you barely notice it's there, and it doesn't have, you know, like the silicone feel like a lot of foundation primers have, which like you don't really, I don't like personally if I am not wearing a full face or if I'm going to be working out, just because if you sweat and then like the silicone primer just like slips all over your face and it's super gross. So I personally like this one. Next, I'm just gonna spot conceal, and what I have been loving for that recently is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Coverage Concealer. This appeared a few weeks ago, I believe, like, oh doggo. This is new from NARS, and I wasn't going to get it because I have a million concealers. But then I went in to Blue Mercury and I was just looking at some makeup, and I ended up trying the NARS Sheer Glow foundation, which I love, even on my oily skin. But then I thought all of my concealers are very highlighting and I want one that just matches my skin tone. So I went ahead and did that. And this is an amazing concealer for spot concealing. I assume you could also use it under your eyes, but I just take it on a brush and apply it to anywhere that I want to really hide blemishes. And what I like about this is it is full coverage and it's there, but it's not super obvious once you blend it out. It just covers and it's pretty invisible and it has a nice matte finish, and you barely have to use any. Like, I rubbed my brush in there a tiny bit, but it just, it's so good. And I just try to use up everything that's on my brush because I don't like it to just sit there and then you have to wash it off and you don't get to use it. So I find that spot concealing is great for days like this just because it gets rid of, you know, the little blemishes, but you don't need to worry about covering your whole face, which is especially helpful working out because the last thing that I want is like foundation dripping down my face. Obviously, if you use a brush, that is better just because it'll keep more coverage. But again, since literally all I'm trying to do is cover up little blemishes, it's not super necessary. And sometimes I take a bit more on my finger, like so, and just warm it up. And I go back over the like bigger blemishes, where I probably should have used a brush or a finger to blend it out instead of a beauty blender, but you know. The next thing I'm going to do is still go ahead and use under eye concealer, but I don't want to use one that's too full coverage, so I'm using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. This is, I believe, in the shade Fair. Yes, the shade Fair. And I'm just applying that under the eyes like I normally do. Paint down a little bit, and then the usual highlighted places of the face. What I love about this concealer for days like this is that it doesn't have super full coverage, so you don't have these weird patches on your face of like full coverage, you know, if that makes sense. And it still just brightens very nicely and kind of smooths everything out. So that one I do just blend with my Beauty Blender, and I'm taking a little up onto my eyelids just to maybe cover a little of the redness, but I'm not too concerned with that today because I'm not putting anything on my eyes besides mascara. And I only like to use a Beauty Blender basically on these days because it really presses it into the skin and like, you know. I have incredibly oily skin, so I need to set with a powder, and for that I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder. This is in the color Warm Ivory or Warm Light or something, and I am just going to take that and just lightly dust it on my face. I like this powder because it definitely smooths everything out, but it doesn't add like a ton of coverage or anything. It just really smooths everything out without mattifying too much, and it also kind of blurs your pores a little bit, which if you have pores like me, you can use all the pore blurring products you can get. For highlight, I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Master Strobing Liquid. This is in the lightest shade. It's kind of an iridescent pink. And I'm just going to take the small e.l.f. stipple brush. I really should have done this before I put on powder, but I forgot, and you know, that happens. So basically I'm just going to take this and blend it first with the brush on the high points of the face. And I'm going to go in with a Beauty Blender afterwards to kind of blur it out. I like to do this like a cream highlight because I feel like powder highlights when I don't have on a ton of makeup can look very like powdery, you know, like a stripe of powder on your face, and I don't know about that look, so I like to take a cream one just because it blends really pretty and it just adds a nice glow but looks super natural. Like, I'm in love with this highlight, and it took me a bit to really love it because I didn't know how to apply it, but that e.l.f. small stipple brush is amazing for applying it. So if you have it and don't like it and haven't tried that brush with it yet, do yourself a favor and try it. Personally, I cannot go a day without bronzer, specifically this bronzer. I know I've used this literally since summer, and this is pretty much the only bronzer that I use. If you have any suggestions of similar bronzers, let me know, but honestly, I'm like, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. I found my favorite bronzer, so like, why stray from it? This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the light shade, and I just like it because of the sheen it has, and it's the perfect tone for me, and you know, it's just great. And this is perfect on no makeup days because it is like so buttery and soft and almost creamy when you put it on your face, so it does not look powdery, like you just slapped some powder on your face, you know? Love it. And this just, I like to warm everything up and just, you know, bring a little life into the face. But not too much, because you don't want it to also then be like, bronzer. On light makeup days, I actually like to go a little lighter on mascara. I used to like to just like pile it on, but right now I've been liking the Mega Length mascara from Wet n Wild because it's super cheap and it just lengthens your lashes, adds a bit of volume, but like it doesn't look too obvious, you know, like here's mascara on my eyes. The only thing about this that I don't like is like the brush is like the Better Than Sex, not Better Than Sex. The brush reminds me of the Benefit They're Real brush that like hurts my eyes. Like you poke yourself with it a bit, and not into that, but the way it looks kind of makes up for it, so that's okay. And now for the last thing, which is the lips. After a week of liquid lipstick, my lips are like not today. So I have been using the Fresh Sugar lip balm thing, treatment, whatever, in the shade Petal. I literally love this. Like, I was really behind on trying these, but I'm glad that I finally did. I just love this shade because it's very similar to my lip color, and it just smells amazing, and it's super moisturizing, and it actually stays. Like, you know how sometimes with tinted lip treatments and glosses and those kind of things, they like rub off right away and you're like, what was even the point of putting that on? Like, no, this is like thick and it just like stays on, and I really like it. So I just put it on and then I blend a little with my finger. And yeah, it's just like a nice, don't have to think about it, lip color. This is the completed look. It's super simple, super quick. If I wasn't talking and going through this, I could literally do this in like 5 minutes, which is super good on mornings when you just don't have time. It's still glowy and nice, and you know, you have a little makeup on, but I think it looks very natural, and that is kind of what I go for. And there's also, it just feels like there's nothing on your skin, which is also super important to me on some days. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video and found it a little helpful. And if you did, please like the video or comment down below and consider subscribing to my channel. And hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.